So here we are in the San Juan River. It is springtime and you can hear all the birds and everything's starting to get green. It means that the winds are here and the water's a little off color. But fishing just keeps getting better and better as the warmer temps start bringing better and better and more dependable hatches. So we're out here today and I'm going to do something in real time. I got this rainwater rods. It's brand new to me, 9.5 foot 5 weight. Fishing 5x tippet to 5.5x tippet, a couple of emergers. And I'm going to fish this run in real time. And I'm not going to stop, not going to do editing, so that you can see what it's like to methodically work a run and then hopefully to fight a fish if I end up hooking one. So let's see what happens. So too many people, what they do is they see that riffle out there and they automatically start casting in the middle of the river. And you've cast over all these fish that you could potentially have caught. When, if you think about it, if you're a fish and you can hold right here where the water is slower and the current is slower, you can hold out there where the current is faster and eat the bugs the same exact way, which one would you do? And if you're a person, would you rather run around the block and come home and eat, or would you rather have somebody bring you a TV dinner while you're sitting on the couch? You'd pick the TV dinner most of the time because it's easier. You don't have to burn as much energy. The fish have to live under the same equation. So don't just fish the middle of the river when all of this part of the river can fish well all the way out to the meat and potatoes, the good part of the river. What's going on in my head now is I fish this run real close. I have my rig shallower and I have my rig lighter. And I've done a good couple of runs here, good mends, and not hit a fish. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work the next 2 feet out. So I'm going to break this river up into increments, into a grid. You can imagine from me to the other side of the bank is potential water to catch fish. And it seems overwhelming if you take it all in at once. So what you want to do is break this river up into a grid of 1 foot, 2 foot lines running straight up and down the river, and you want to fish every foot, every 2 feet out into the middle, all the way to the other side if you can do it. You don't want to cast over fish that you could catch, and you don't want to undercast if you're fishing the same 2 feet again and again. You want to break it up into grids, and you want to fish every foot, every 2 feet of water. So I know that if I'm going to go out and fish further, that I'm going to need more weight and maybe a little bit more depth. The water sort of slopes here. There's a sandstone shelf and the fish are probably working right on the other side of the shelf. The sandstone gives them a nice current break. So I'm going to add another number 4. So as of right now, I'm fishing 2 number 4s. I started out with one number 4 lead shot, and now I have 2 number 4s on there. So I'm going to make a cast, quarter upriver. Don't have to mend here because of the way the current is running. And just watch that strike indicator for any kind of movement at all. You notice I don't do a ton of false casting either. You can't catch fish. There aren't any flying fish on this river, so you don't want to spend your time false casting like Brad Pitt. You're not going to catch fish if your flies aren't in the water. One of my pet peeves is to see people doing this. Just for the sake of casting. Just for the sake of looking good. And all that does is waste time not having your flies in the water where you could potentially catch fish. Just taking some good drifts, and I know that I'm not getting down deep enough, fast enough, so I'm going to add another weight. You notice what I haven't done is I haven't reached into my box and picked out another fly. I reach into my split shot container and I pick out another weight. Remember that equation that I'm always talking about, 100% of catching a fish. Your fly selection is only 20% of how important that is. Your weight and your depth are 40% each. 80% of the equation of why you're catching fish or not catching fish is weight and depth. Fly only matters about 20%. You see what happened here? What happened here is that I sucked. I set the hook and then I didn't wait on the back cast. I came forward too soon. Did the same thing that I tell my clients not to do 1,000 times a day. So don't feel bad. If you're on a trip with me and I tell you wait before you come forward, or else you're going to get tangled. And you get tangled, don't feel bad, because here I am having not waited and I got tangled. There's a lot of junk in the system right now, so you'll notice that I clean the flies off about every cast. I want to make sure that every cast is as good as I can possibly make it. If your flies are dirty, if they're tangled, you might as well be fishing in a bathtub. You're not going to catch anything. There he is. Oh, that is a big rainbow. Oh, there it goes. All the way to the other side of the river. This is the only time that I lift my raw tip up. What's happening, you can see that fly line just getting cut as the fish swims, because the current is pushing against my fly line. So I want to get as much of my fly line out of the water as possible, so that I don't have the drag of the current on the fly line plus the fish on light tippet, and your chances of landing this fish are just reduced by a ton. Don't be afraid to chase these fish down. You need to kind of stay parallel of them. Perpendicular, sorry. You want to stay pulling into the side of their mouth. Sometimes you have to pull a Brad Pitt and wade out into the middle of the river to land a fish. You see how much of that line that I got back? So I didn't panic, I let him run, and I'm going to try to get this line back little by little. It's trying to rub me off on the sandstone, so what I have to do is come down with him again. Okay, so I'm perpendicular. You can tell that fish is kind of coming back to the same hole that I caught him in. Ah, this fish is just so heavy. Ah. There's almost nothing I could do but hold on. This rainbow is so big. See, I'm getting her over to this shallow water. Oh, nice. Look at that. Took that little foam wing RS2. But this is the payoff. If at any point I would have stopped fishing that run because I wasn't getting eats, if I had not added weight, if I hadn't done all of this stuff, there's no way I would have had a chance at this fish. I cleared one fly already. I want to make sure that that other fly stays out of her. I don't want her to get tangled up in that other fly. What a nice fish. Probably like 23, 22 and a half, 23.